Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our Brother Isiaih Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Well, like a salam to you, sir, and your family.
Yes, sir. And of course, on behalf of myself, family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we thank Allah for you taking time out of your busy schedule today. And we're just excited. The first question that we have for you, Brother Isiaih, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Back in 1961.
Mm, mm, mm. Yes, sir. And how did you hear the teachings in 1961?
You mean, how did I come about hearing about it?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was a brother that I knew uh, that we grew up together in Arkansas. And we moved here in Kansas City, Missouri about the same time. And he was the first one to go and hear the teachings. His name was Brother Caesar.
Mm.
And he just kept bugging me, brother, you got to go here. And I said, all right, man, I just want to go and see what y'all people is talking about. So I went down and heard the teaching of the Hon Elijah Muhammad, and this history now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And how did your family and friends feel once you informed them that you were going to accept the teachings?
Well, at that time, my first wife, she's deceased now. I was telling her about it, and she said, "You really gonna give up smoking and drinking and all that?" I said, "Of course."
Mm.
So basically, what she did. You see, since I told her that she wanted to find out was I true from my word.
Yes,
And
sir.
after she seen that I was, true to my word, then she came in.
Okay. Now, what can you please let us know the climate in the 60s in this is in Arkansas, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let us know. Could you please let us know what it was like to be black in Arkansas, but also to be a black Muslim in Arkansas in the 60s?
No, but see what I'm saying was that that's where I was. I was from Arkansas, but
Okay.
I had moved to Kansas City,
Kansas
Missouri.
City. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
and that's where I came in was in Kansas City, Missouri. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, what was it like being black in Kansas City, Missouri?
Well, at that time, I don't know whether it's any different now.
Mm.
Where where black and brown people, they caught hell back then. We still catching hell.
Okay, yes, sir. All right. And can you let us know some of uh, the names of the believers who were like, was it who was like teaching? Like, what was the climate like in Kansas City?
Yeah, when I came in, the minister was Minister Jesse Fox,
Okay, okay.
and he's deceased now. And the brother that turned me on to Islam, matter of fact, he don't live no more about 4 blocks from me. You
Mm,
see,
mm,
and
mm.
so we talk to each other every week. We see each other and have coffee together. You see, yes, sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. And people are showing you love all around the world, Brother Isiaih. Brother Lane Q says ASA family, he's watching from Sonora, Mexico. Walaikum salam, Brother Lane Q. And Kumo Stas to everyone in Mexico. Uh, oh, Brother Jamil says, Assalamu alaikum salam. He said, welcome to the People's Podcast, Kansas City, number 30. Sister Miriam, alaikum salam, family. Wonderful. And Minister Jamil said Nathaniel Muhammad became minister there under the messenger. Okay, powerful. Yes, sir. Now, Brother Isiaih, I wanted to ask you, um, what was it like to see, be in the time period when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was among us?
Well, the time when the Most Honorable Elijah was among us, it's different now, because the the devil, I call them, the Caucasian people, in the government, they didn't want, see, in the first place, they never wanted teachings of Islam to come to America in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So they did everything in their power to keep Islam from coming to America. Hell, they even came out on the FBI, even came out on my job. You see?
Mm.
You see? And the believers of today, they don't have to, in other words, everything that comes about, what they don't understand is somebody paved the way for it. It didn't just happen.
That's right.
You see? We went through hell, brother. You see? In this country just to establish Islam.
Yes, sir. But I want to say, Brother Isaiah, that we salute you and we thank Allah for your many sacrifices and the sacrifices of your family. Thank you for standing strong and representing the teachings of Most Hon Elijah Muhammad under extreme circumstances and still bearing witness to today. We thank Allah for you and your family, sir. We salute you, and I'm honored. We're honored to hear from you and see you today. I wanted to ask you, sir, have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
No, sir. Ever since I've been into the Nation of Islam, the only fear I have is Allah Himself. You see, I've never feared the devil, never.
Mm.
You see, and that's a fact. I mean, even when I grew up in the South, my parents didn't teach me to be afraid of no white folks. You see, and all of my potential, I mean, that's the way that I live. I ain't never been afraid of no Caucasian. I lived in the South where they had the Klan and all of them. You see, but my parents never taught me, to go hide from them. Hey, you mess with me, we fight back. That's the attitude I've always had.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Now, Brother Isaiah, speaking of your family, your daughter reached out to me with the amazing connection to you. What advice would you give to future fathers?
The future father is that the way I look at it, brother, is that history always teaches us, you see. In other words, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going.
Yes, sir.
You see? And see what happened, the way that I look at it is in scripture, is that Allah, every nation of people that fell to the bottom of civilization, even the white folks, Allah always sent them up someone to raise them up. Well, hell, Moses was the one that raised the Caucasians out the hillsides and caves of Europe.
That's right.
But and they don't think that he would be merciful enough to send us someone. So he sent us the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to raise us up out of the condition that we are in.
Yes, sir.
And when we don't follow those people that he sent to us, we suffer the consequences.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Beautiful teaching. And people are showing you love all around the world. Thank you, sir. People saying, Brother Brandon from Muslim 15, 147 Savage, Flint, Michigan. I know that's right. From Sister Marina. Teach Brother Isaiah and fear no one but Allah. All praises due to Allah. Excellent. I wanted to ask you, sir, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan started to rebuild the nation and the work of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what made you decide to say everything that you did back in Pride of 75, we salute you and all the hard work, but you were going to come and help the minister as well? What made you decide make that decision?
Well, it's a different when you live through the whole process, And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I remember, in other words, brother, when the nation fell, all of us went back. All of us. But the messenger had said, we didn't know what he was talking about, that it would come a day that you could put all of my followers in a taxi cab. See?
mm.
But he didn't just plan to come out and tell us what, what's going to happen, you see. But we lived through it. So when I look back at it, it's what he was talking about. You see? In the minister, and I remember him, he taught about it. But I remember when he was going out to make the movie of Malcolm X. You see? And once he found out that it was love seen with white women, he changed his mind. He said image means everything, and he changed his mind. You see, and my brother, see, it's a different when someone take a book and read about it. Well, I lived through it. I don't have to have no book. And I would tell you, like I said before, everybody paves the way for the other generation, when you get caught up in that predicament.
Yes, sir.
You see, hey, brother, I went to jail, and spent time in jail, got locked up, in several places for the truth. You see, so Islam didn't just say be and it is. Here, it's people that suffered to establish Islam in this country. Yes, sir. And I just thank Allah, brother, that I was one of the ones that he chose to do that. Yes, sir.
Beautiful, Brother Isaiah. Beautiful. Okay, I want to go. Walaikum salam. Sister Naima, thank you, everyone. Brother Duke, Sister Auntie, Sister Hope, Brother Musa, everyone who always shows love to the People's Podcast. Brother Isaiah, what advice would you give to the younger believers now, the next generations after you, about holding on to the rope of Islam, staying 10 toes down in their belief, in our belief, that Allah is God, because of all the years that you've been able to maintain your faith? What advice would you give to us?
Well, the advice that I would give to you is, see, everything that happened to us, you see, we have to study our history.
Yes, sir.
You see? And what I mean by that, a lot of people, I think they forget is that, when we look back and we talk about Jesus, Moses, Muhammad 1400 years ago, you see? And I said this once before. All of the prophets came to us. Allah sent them to us because we was on the bottom of civilization. You see?
Yes,
and the problem that I tell all of the believers, whether they're young or old, is that when the gods send these prophets and messengers into the situation that you're in to raise you up, and then you go and you just disregard it, then you suffer the consequences. And what I tell them, I said, look at Noah. You see, his own son. You see, but that didn't stop, the grace of Allah. But his son, hell, he got drowned.
Yes,
and the same thing with Lot. Look at his wife.
That's right. She turned back.
She went against him.
That's right.
You see? But see, I always look at it what the messenger taught us. He said, my job is only to tell you. And what that means to me is that God don't force no one to do nothing.
Yes, sir.
But he gives you the word. And like I said, if you disregard it, you suffer the consequences. It ain't no different today. And all the our people out here, you say Allah, the messenger and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan have been in this country for 90-some years. You see? And you think they just been here just for the hell of it? I don't think so. Allah sent them to us. And my brother, what I think about is that when you take the indigenous people that we call Indians, right?
Yes, sir.
And the Caucasian came and killed all of them off and then pushed them back on the reservation in their own country. This was their country, you see? And then the one we call Mexicans and Latino, well, they used to own California, Texas, New Mexico. Well, look what they did to them. And then they tricked our forefathers over here and made slaves out of them for 310 years. And our people, I just can't imagine. You mean to tell me that if you believe that God is a just God and he gonna let them get away with that? I don't think so. You reap what you sow. If you go and plant some cabbage, you're not gonna reach onions from it.
That's right.
The reward for evil is evil, and the reward for good is good.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Excellent, Brother Isaiah. And people will bear witness. Brother Isaiah, we have a brief 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. We are grateful for every like, share, and subscription. Thank you all to all the People Podcast affiliates for your anonymous cash apps. Everyone who continues to show love. Please let us know which city you all are watching the People's Podcast from as we speak. We have some great interviews to continue with us today. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. We're coming right back to our guests.
Okay. When he come back. How long are you there? He's on
Excellent. And we also have S Enterprise Barber and Beauty Products. They have a plant-based brush wave website, kosherwave.com with a K, 770-997-6000. This is where you have a kosher brush for your hair, sideburns, whatever everybody's using to brush their hair. Brother Jeffrey Sirsi Muhammad, Sister Stephanie Lasan Muhammad, 770-997-6000. All right. Brother Isaiah, you spoke of you being arrested. Could you tell us how that came about and how, what was that like?
Well, see, back in the day, sir, what we did, we hit all of the surrounding cities. You see, I'm talking about we pushed the Muhammad Speak newspaper. We took it to all of the surrounding cities, and during that time, every now and then, we would visit other cities, and help them out. And we went to Arkansas, you see, and we was, delivering the message, and the Caucasians didn't like it, so they locked us up. I spent 6 months in jail in Texarkana, Arkansas, you see, for just pushing. Matter of fact, at that time, I was in the ministry, and me and 3 more other brothers drove down there to help them out. And while I was getting ready for my lecture, they took my car, you see, and went to, bring some people to the mosque that day for me to teach. And I'm sitting up there waiting for them, and I'm trying to figure out, so what happened to him? What happened to him? And one of the brothers' parents said, well, these old demons probably done locked them up. And sure enough, I went to the jailhouse, and they had my car, you see, going all through my car, all in the trunk. And I walked up, and I snatched the keys from them. I said, what the hell y'all doing in my car? And then they locked me up. And I spent 6 months, and it cost me at that time about $5,000, for this attorney that we got. And they finally dropped the charges, but it's just the idea that you spend 6 months in jail and spend all that kind of money for an attorney, and I know we don't have time to go into all the details of it, but that's basically what happened.
Mm.
And one of the things, my brother, that I would really like to talk about, since we're on this broadcast, is that for all of my brothers and sisters out here, life is it's the most precious gift that Allah gives us.
Yes, sir.
And He put out two books: How to Eat to Live, Book One; How to Eat to Live, Book Two. You see, and He says in the book, He said 200 or 300 years is not old. And here we are in this country. I mean, think about that. We get to 50, 60, 70 years old when we look for, and most of the people look forward to dying. You see, and and I found out that even in the Quran, Allah ain't never set no certain limit of time on how you live. You're supposed to live as long as you want to live. Hell, Methuselah lived to get 969 years old.
Yes,
And,
sir.
and when I studied his history, hell, he only ate once a week.
Mm.
But hell, we wants to eat. You know that word breakfast? But guess what? When you break the word down, it's break fast. That's where the word breakfast come from. You was breaking the fast.
Yes,
You
sir.
see,
Yes, sir.
in the messenger in his book, he really stresses eating one meal a day. And brother, I'm telling you, that's what Brother Isiaih does. I
Beautiful.
eat one meal a day. And the only thing that I gotta really, tighten up on is fasting those 3 days out of a month.
Mm. Mm.
Because he said with this bad food that we have, when we fast 3 days a month, we get a lot of that poison out of our system. You see? And it just baffled me because we got so many of our people, brother, in the nation just dying in early age. And you mean to tell me when the messenger left us, well, hell, he left everything we needed to survive. He left
Mm.
first, he left the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He left both his books: How to Eat to Live, Book One; Book Two, The Fall of America, Message to the Black Man. So we don't have no excuse.
That's right.
Our Savior have arrived. We don't have no excuse, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Sometimes tears come to my eyes, brother, to see our people just leaving here like this. And it don't have to be that way. You see? In this demon, well, hell, he know he knows he's not gonna be around here because his time was up in 1914.
That's right.
You see, so he don't care nothing about living no long time. You see, but I do,
Mm.
and I'm not boasting and bragging, but I just try to follow his teaching. And next month I will be 84 years old, and I can't even remember the last time I had a cold.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I don't be sick, walking around, and most of our people at that age in this civilization, most of them can't wait on themselves. They pushing around with walkers and stuff, you see. No, brother, we don't have to be that way.
Beautiful.
If we follow the man of God that he sent to us to follow. But the book did say that we was a hard-headed, stiff-necked people, didn't it?
That's right. That's what it said. That's what it said.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful, brother. I would have never guessed 84. All praise due to Allah. That's powerful.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And no, go ahead.
No, I'm listening, sir.
No, 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 go ahead.
Okay. Yes, sir. I wanted to ask you, in your 84 years of living, what has been your greatest trial and how have you overcome that trial?
My greatest trial is to stay on course to do righteousness, brother.
Mm,
That's,
mm.
that's my greatest trial. You see, because there's so much stuff out here, brother. in this devil's world can lead you the other way, brother. And I'm telling you, brother, and that's why I try my best, brother, to do my prayers to the Savior, brother, that he stay me that I stay the course. Because when you living on a world, I mean, think about this world we live in, you know. I mean, temptations and people doing all kinds of stuff. And that's what I always tell people, you know, and you know, if you take the God out of your life, well, man, you can't make it.
Mm, mm.
It's impossible. You see? Oh man. You know, and I just think about that all the time, how in this world, you know, we wonder about why we're in the condition that we're in. And you know, one of the other things they mentioned is mental illness, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I asked them at one of our meeting that we have, you know, it's a community meeting. And I said, well, why so many people is talking about, you know, having that? I said, number one is your body is twofold. It's part spiritual and it's part physical. I
Yes,
said,
sir.
what we do, we live on the physical part and we live the spiritual part out. I said, well, hell, that's the God.
Mm,
So if you leave the spiritual part out and all of these different things come on you, you ain't got nobody to lie on. So what you expect?
mm, mm.
You see?
Yes,
And,
sir.
and, and that's what the problem lies. We have to depend on the God. That's the spiritual side because we are part spiritual and we're part physical.
Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful. Yes, sir, Razak. I also wanted to ask you, we wanted to ask you, what is your greatest joy, sir?
My greatest joy,
Yes, sir.
my greatest joy is following these teachings that the Most Hon Elijah Muhammad gave us.
Mm,
Because I know in the end, you see, when he teaches us about this old world going out, and see, one thing that people forget is that when these atrocities come down, you see, the good suffer with the bad. Do
mm,
you think when the tornadoes and the earthquakes and stuff, yeah, the good suffer with the bad? But what happened is when you obey and you prepare for it, then you don't suffer to the extent that the rest of the people
mm.
suffer. And that's the difference, you see?
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And thank you everyone who was watching and showing love too, Brother Isaiah. We wanted to ask you, sir, about what type of music you enjoy listening to.
You really want to know, huh?
Yes, sir.
The old music.
Okay.
That's what I like because this stuff that they play today to me, I don't even call it music.
Mm,
I mean, that's just me, you know. I mean, in matter of fact, I had my daughter, you know, because you can do it on radio now, but I had my daughter and to take DVDs, and I got all kind of DVDs of the old music back in the day,
okay, okay.
and I put them in my CD track. And when I'm traveling, that's what I play. That's the type of music I like.
Yes, sir.
Because because when you look at it, brother, back in the day, the old music had meaning to it. They wasn't just singing,
Yes, sir.
but today is different.
Mm.
That's just my aspiration of it.
Yes, sir. Now, Brother Isaiah, could you give us like you saying like old school like Temptations?
Right,
Okay, so like Motown music. All right, we got it. Smokey Robinson and stuff.
right. Yeah, and then blues, man. You don't hear that no more. You know, like Bobby Bland and
Okay, okay,
my man BB King and
okay.
all of those guys. You know,
Yes, sir. So
right.
you saying the thrill is gone, is what you're saying.
That's it. The Temptation. You
Okay.
see, yeah, all of them old groups back there. I still play their music.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. You can't go wrong with all the classic music. Thank you for everyone tapping in from Cleveland, and your granddaughter, Sister Marina, is bearing witness saying that you do. That is the type of music you enjoy listening to. Said Cleveland, Delta, Mississippi, and Mobile, Alabama. Thank you to every city, everybody who shows love to the People's Podcast. Uh, Brother Isiaih, what is something that you yearn to see from the nation?
That I want to see from the nation.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, there's so many things, but but I guess the one thing that I would like to see is that we put out more effort to inform our people what day and time that we are living in.
Mm.
Because I would tell you, brother, you know, and the messenger taught us years ago about what's going to happen to this country. You see, and we think that we think that America's going to be here forever, brother, but it's not. You see, the messengers ministers taught us back in the day. You see, and you know those little planes that they see up there they call UFOs. You
Yes,
see,
sir.
well, they not just up there; they up there for a reason. You
Oh,
see, in the message ministers taught us back in the day, they would put up there to completely destroy America because the most Hon Elijah Muhammad taught us. He said America is the most wicked government that's ever been on the face of the earth. Now
mm.
you think about that. Here's a country, and I said that before, took the indigenous people, killed them off, pushed them back on a reservation, and the one they call Latino, they did the same thing to them. Then they tricked our forefathers over here for put them in servitude slavery for 310 years and working for can't see in the morning to can't see at night, and then give them a dime for it. And then you see these demons be talking about our country. Hell, it ain't your country, you
Mm.
see. But he taught us that's what those planes up there for.
Yes, sir.
And he said, and when Allah get ready to destroy this country, he said there will be angels all over the country directing us which way to go. You see? And the thing about it, some of us for not following instructions gonna lose our life because they'll say, "Well, brother, I know, but I gotta make sure that I got to get my son out of school or my daughter's out of school," and they would lose their life because everything gonna be covered. You
Mm.
see, and you will lose your life because you won't follow the instruction that the angels done gave you during that time.
Yes,
And
sir.
he taught us. He said those bombs that's on those planes. He said it's three of them on each
Yes, sir.
plane, and he said they got drills, and they would drill 3 miles deep down into the earth and blow up mountain on this planet 3 miles high. And he said when they get through bombing this country, he said not one bomb will be in no water. All of them going to be on land. And he said this country will burn, think about that, for
Yes, sir.
690 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he said in the book of Revelation where it said the wicked world going out there would burn forever and forever. But the messenger said nothing burns forever. He said, but it would burn for so long that people think it's going to burn forever.
Mm.
And he said it would take 310 years for it to cool off. And he said in the book where it said about the 1,000-year millennium, he said it'll be 1,000 years before anybody else will be able to come back on this place of the planet because it's been so wicked.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Unbelievable.
Yes, sir. You teaching, brother. You teaching. All praises to a lot of people saying that's his name saying teach. And thank you to everyone who was watching. Continue to show love to the People's Podcast. Brother Isiaih, what would you like your legacy to be, sir?
My legacy is to help wake up our people. You see, because right now, brother, you know, see the thing that I think about when God sent his servants into the world.
Yes, sir.
Think about that. And when he called them in, that's when all hell break loose.
mm,
Now you think about this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said that Allah told him to be quiet.
mm.
He said he didn't have nothing else to say.
Mm.
You see? Well, you know what that tell me? Is that he done called his servant in, so the rest is it's gonna be hell in this country, brother. And
Mm.
you know, and all you got to do is look at his history. Every time, you know, Noah taught for 120 years and different one, but when he called them in, guess what? That's when all of the hell started. You see, and all of the people out there, we better get to hell and get ourselves together because he done called the minister in, and you think it's a lot of time left?
Go ahead and
I
teach
don't think
us, sir.
so. And the minister said himself, he said, we are at the end of the end.
Yes, sir.
And he said that Allah told him to just be quiet. You see, to sit back and see this thing play out. We better get ourselves together. That's right.
That's a fact. Yes, sir. And our last question that we had, thank you very much, sir. Our last question we have for you, Brother Isaiah, is how has been becoming a grandfather or being a grandfather, how did that change your perspective on life?
Well, what I try to do is this. Every year, I try to plan something for my whole family, all of my grannies and nieces and nephews. You see, every year we try to go, you know, get together.
Yes, sir.
And I warn them what's, you know, what the messenger taught us. You see, and then you know if you know and you don't make no preparation to change, you know, then that's on you. That's why the messenger said my job is only to tell you. Allah don't force nobody, but
Sure.
I try to give them the message. You see, and if and I'm like Mr. Ismail, you know, even about the food shortage in the country. You see, and you don't want to go and prepare for it, and then that day comes, and then you're gonna come knocking on my door. I don't think so. Because, brother, I'm telling you, man, you know, since I'm on like this, man, it really bothers me in a sense when you see this country going down. You see, it's a food shortage in the country right now. You go to the grocery store, half of the shelves are empty. It's nothing there, you see? And in saying that, you know, I took the disaster preparing course through the city, you see? And they told us a lot of stuff, plus what the nation gave me, you know, so it ain't nothing that I'm just running my mouth about. You see, this is serious business, you know.
Yes,
And and
sir.
and, and our people walking around here, you know, I don't know, man. They so spooky minded. You see, they think somebody gonna drop some food out of the sky or something. That's not gonna happen. If you don't prepare for it, you're gonna suffer the consequences.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Well, on that positive note, Brother Isaiah, we want to thank you again on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your many sacrifices. We thank Allah for you and your family. Salute to you, your family, and all of the believers holding it down in Kansas City. Shout out to everyone in Arkansas as well. And we love you, Brother Isaiah, and may Allah continue to bless you. And inshallah, I will have the opportunity of meeting you in person one day soon, sir.
Yes, sir. And I would like to say this in closing. You know, is that all of us, you see, have a role to play in this, you know. And one of the things that Muhammad taught us, that he said that our unity was more powerful than an atom bomb. Think about that. You see? And he gave us the key. If somebody give you the key to unlock the door and you disregard it, it is a storm coming, you see? Uh, um, 10 or 15 inches of snow and you can't get in the house because you done threw the key away. Well, you know, that's on you.
Mm, mm.
So we have to remember, you see, that we have a part to play too. And 'cause God, he don't force nobody to do nothing, but he warns us and give us the messengers and the prophets, you see, to let us know what's going on. Then we sit back and we think it's a joke. Then we deserve what we get.
Mm,
Yes, sir.
powerful. Well, this is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off of the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
And I want to thank you, sir, for having me.
It's my honor.
Yes, sir.
It's my honor,
And
brother.
and you and your family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We thank you. And
Yes,
thank you
sir.
for watching. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam to you, sir.